What's the worst way someone has broken up with you? When I was in Korea, my wife at the time tells me over Skype that we've drifted apart and she wants to separate. So, she takes the power I had given her, packs up everything out of the house that she wants regardless of who it belongs to, uses my bank account to pay for the U-Haul and all the moving expenses, sells the house, has one dog put to sleep, takes the other to the SPCA, and disappears. Eventually I learn that she'd been planning to leave ever since I came down on orders. Oh, and she was a textbook psychopath and a compulsive liar. By the way, she actually never had and beat cancer before I met her. For 7 years I kept asking her to see the doctor and make sure she's still cancer free. I've seen people I love die from cancer and it's horrible. For 7 years she'd lied to me about having had cancer and watched while I worried myself sick about it coming back. So glad to be rid of that lunatic. Jesus Christ, I used to be friends with a girl and this seems so much like something she did more than once. Did her name start with an M, by chance? I broke off our friendship when one of her ex-husbands contacted me. I did a little digging and discovered that she had done the same to several other men. I'll let her current husband know and never talk to her again. What a trash human. By making me do the breakup for him, he slowly withdrew emotionally and started to become increasingly irritable and inconsiderate. If I brought up any of these issues he would act insulted at how I could think that of him, or say imply maybe it was my fault for not being considerate enough of him and what he was going through. It was so slow and incremental, it took me a long time to figure out we weren't going through a rough patch, or he wasn't having a hard time that I needed to support him through. With my last remaining crumb of energy and self-esteem, I did what he wanted all along and did the breaking up for him. I broke my own heart. He screamed and insulted me, stole a bunch of my stuff, and later I found out he gave me the kind of HPV that gives you cancer, which I did get, but was treated. I've been there. He slowly withdrew and became more and more cold, dismissive, and uninterested. It tore me up inside, and when I finally ended it, it was me that had the broken heart, since he checked out a long time ago. Such a cowardly way to avoid the responsibility of ending it as well as the hurt of being on the wrong side of a breakup. Was with her for just shy of 2 years. Holidays, festivals, discussions of marriage, the lot. Claimed she lived at home with her mum, who had terminal cancer, and as a result her mum didn't want to bring anyone new into her life as the pain of knowing she would soon leave them was too much. Therefore we spent all our time at mine, and I never met her family or mum. Received a message from a guy one night asking how I knew her. I explained. Turns out her mum was fine, and she had been engaged to this guy and living with him the entire time. They were due to get married in a fortnight. Still blows my mind that she managed to play us both so well the entire time. So technically, I guess he kind of ended it by revealing the truth. Lol, I just wished him the best of luck and cut all ties immediately. Didn't give her the satisfaction of letting her know she had hurt me. There's a special place in heck for people who make fake terminal illness claims. Almost lost my mom to cancer when I was a kid, and when I hear about it happening to someone else, it invokes that fear and grief all over again. Dated a guy for 1 month short of 3 years. Everyone, including me, thought we'd be a forever couple. He talked about engagement and marriage within the first 8 months, right up to a week before it all ended. We were laying in bed, and he told me I can't wait to be engaged by this time next year. Fast forward a week. Everything was normal. We went on a nice date night. He spent a couple nights at my house and went home. Everything seemed fine. We texted like we always did for a few days until he said he needed to discuss something. Long story short, he texted that he needed a break. I said I understood and would respect that. A week later he calls me and says you aren't going to like what I have to say. I asked if he was breaking up with me and he said yes. Dated for almost 3 years and you break up over the phone. I asked if there was a reason. I haven't loved you for the past 6 months. By not telling me at all. We had been together for 3 to 4 weeks and one day I was just coming home from work and I saw her walking with another dude. I confronted her in front of him, and the conversation went something like this: me, hey, her name. Who's this? Her, oh, hey, this is his name, my boyfriend. Me, haven't we been in a relationship for like a month now? Her ugh, I guess, but we clearly broke up yesterday evening. Me visible confusion, we didn't break up that evening. We just had a minor squabble about how we should spend more time together. I was working 12s that week. We even kissed when I was leaving her place, and she told me I love you. I was so astounded I couldn't even be mad. Forgot about her in a few weeks and moved on with my life. Sounds like she just got caught cheating and decided to lie to you. Of course she did. I just couldn't believe it at that time, lol. I took my then wife of 13 years to get couples massage, then a fancy dinner. Paid good money to get into a club she wanted to go to. I go get us drinks, and when I return, she whispers in my ear, let's just be friends. TLDR, got friend-zoned after 2 kids and over a decade of marriage. TBH, I like being not married to her better, so no biggie now. I thought this was going to turn into some jokey roleplay thing that you were into where you pretend you're just friends on a night out. It was. It just got out of hand. To this day she's still committed to her role. Honestly man, she sounds like a mild sociopath or mildly autistic, who in their right mind whispers something like that at a time like that. My youngest is autistic and my oldest child has severe mental health issues, including antisocial personality disorder, so it's possible. Background: we were both in our 40s. Cheated on me, only found out 3 years later when she posted the date of her anniversary with him and ended it with me to go out with him because he was all excited to get married to her. I wanted to wait until her kids from a prior marriage graduated from college. They were engaged a little over a year later. Funny ending. Since we were never married, but I was providing significant financial support to her, she lost all access to any of my income after she ended the relationship. My guess is he discovered after 2 to 3 years that he had made a mistake because he refused to set a wedding date. Around the year that we were originally scheduled to get married, they broke up. This one was satisfying to read. Good for man. It's nice to see someone dodge a bullet. I had a BF when I was 5, but I don't remember if we ever actually broke it off. He's probably cheating on me right now, SMH. I've had 3 at that age and they probably cheating on me now too, SMH. To be fair, you did cheat on the first girl with the other 2. Ah yes, I got married in kindergarten, and at my wedding, when I was 29, I told him the kindergarten marriage was off P. I had a girlfriend like that in the 1st grade, and also one like that in 5th grade. The one in 5th grade, I remember I was too shy to even talk to her, and after about 4 months I found out her and one of my friends started going out, and I don't think I was too heartbroken over it. But have you stayed truthful to him? Changed their FB status to in a relationship with someone else? That's the equivalent of an employee being locked out of the system and their password changed without actually being notified about being fired. Or finding out that you've been fired while in the middle of a conference because you happened to see it scrolling by on the bottom of a nearby television. You happened to see it scrolling by on the bottom of a nearby television. Where do companies announce it like that? I can imagine this happening if one is a senior executive of a major company or a high-ranking government official though. A high-ranking government official though. That's exactly what happened. Yeah. My post is referencing how James Comey found out that he had been fired as head of the FBI. He literally ran away. We got back from a gig and I went to put some ice cream in the freezer, only to hear footsteps and the door slamming. Ran out and he was legging it down the road. That guy's going to survive well in a zombie apocalypse. Why are you running? Why are you running? I'm really sorry, but that's an absolutely hilarious mental image. I'm just imagining him absolutely gunning it with the flailest of arms. Sounds like a scene from The Simpsons. Running footsteps, car peeling away, airplane flying overhead. The entire relationship, him signs on to MSN Messenger, him hey me hate him, will you go out with me? Me internally screaming with joy, yes. Him awesome. I love you, me cool, him say it back, me we just started dating, I don't love you yet, him it's over 12-year-old me was pretty sad. Me we just started dating, I don't love you yet, 12-year-old you was pretty wise as well. Pretty wise. However, if the relationship had lasted longer than a week I probably would have dropped the L-bomb, so not super wise. WH. I remember that conversation. Waited till I was at work and him and my point coworker who had met the night before, when I introduced them, decided they were in love. They went in my apartment and stole some of my stuff. She stole my clothes and they moved into a tent together. He then got her pregnant. One day he had his friend call me and ask if he could come back. She was now on drugs and not taking care of their baby. He wanted me to take him and the baby back. I said, you ever call me again, I will call your girlfriend and tell her. Never heard from him again. Told me she loved me for the first time, snuck into my place and left me flowers, planned a trip for my birthday together, introduced me to her parents, even though I told her I wasn't ready to meet them yet, was invited to Mother's Day brunch with her family, and then she broke up with me without ever giving me a hint that anything was wrong. All of this happened in about 2 weeks. That's terrible, but I have to admire her speedrun strats. Yeah, no doubt. She was definitely impressive, in more ways than one. Cheated on me, and didn't try very hard to hide it, then got together with them without explicitly breaking up with me, then inviting them to live in our house as a group of 5 or so of us living together. Never date someone you are living with. At least it's something to learn from. Must have been painful. Yeah, it was horrible. In my mind she was cheating on me to my face, in my house every day, but I was expected to be okay with it. As a result, it took around 6 to 8 months to get over a 5-month relationship. I was deployed for 6 months. We had kept in touch the whole time I was away, and had a bunch of things we planned to do together once I returned. I was terribly homesick, and knowing that I would see her at the end was what really kept me in good spirits. 3 weeks before I return, she tells me she doesn't love me anymore because she's changed as a person. No further explanation. It was a miserable 3 weeks. I wish she'd told me after I got back or much sooner. We'd been together for 3 years. She borrowed several $100s from me a week before knowing the whole time that she was going to do this. When she broke up with me, all she did was tell me that she didn't love me anymore. No discussion, no explanation, nothing. She then kept the breakup secret, moved to another city, mooched off of my friends, trashed their apartment, and nearly killed their dog.